Hey guys, Garage 79R. Got the Malibu at the shop now, and I know it's been pretty much sitting for 2 years, so I'm excited to finally try to get some work done on it. So, by the way, comment, let me know how you like this angle. I just discovered I can do this with my phone. I can kind of shove it in my gauge cluster here on the Yaris. So, not that I drive this every day anymore, but I'm driving it today and it works out, allows me to be hands-free. Instead of doing this stuff, trying to hold the camera, and you get drunk and dizzy and you throw up watching my videos. So, Malibu's at the shop, Floyd's home now. Floyd's on a little bit of temporary hiatus because I'm in no rush in getting that running. Dustin's got the harness coming my way, which is great, so I can start tinkering with that, but I said that car is not a priority right now. What little off time I get between cars is going to go to the Malibu, because I wanted to work on it all this month. Well, that didn't happen, so I got to wait on the 1UZ with no AC compressor, but it still has everything else on it, even the harness and the transmission. 650 pounds. It's 660, but my leveler is 10 pounds, so 650 pounds. I'll put the picture up. Ooh, hello. Beautiful FDRX7 heading up the road. So, 650 pounds, awesome. We know it's going to be lighter. That was one of the big reasons of doing this whole swap from the get-go, was to save weight on the front of the car. A typical fully dressed small block Chevy is like between 550 and 600 pounds, depending on how it's fully trimmed out. But like an all-iron small block Chevy. So we're only a little bit more, and that's including the transmission. So we're moving in the right direction. Looking at the cross member, this cross member is not going to be fun to try to box up. I would love to just recreate it, but then you start getting into the control arm mounts, and I don't know how well I can recreate those mounts. I'm probably making it harder than it has to be in my head, but if I don't have to move them or reinvent the wheel, I'm gonna not do it. So I have a very little bit of a cross member left, so I'm gonna box in what I have, and I'm also gonna make a brace, because there's a spot between the oil pan and the transmission, and that's going to fall pretty much right where the back of my control arm mounts are. I want to make a brace there, and maybe even triangulate off of that, depending on how much room is left. I still got to allow for the exhaust to come through. So, we're still heading in the right direction, and now that the car's at the shop, I can start getting some progress. The original idea for this year was to have it done and running for Radwood in October. That's going to be pushing it, especially if I still got work to do in my shop, which I do. I have plenty of work. So it's like, I'm just got to sneak in like a night here and there just to try to get work done. If it doesn't get done by October, I'm not going to be upset. It just would have been cool, because I can meet a lot of people I know from the Northeast, and the Radwood's going to be in Boston or somewhere around Boston for that October event. So it would have been just a really cool trip to really shake down the car. So if it happens awesome. If not, I'm going to be a lot closer than I was, because now I'm actually getting work done on a car. So people kind of probably want to know, like, why am I doing a 1UZ in the Malibu? And I just like the motor. I've always been a fan of the motor. I mean, it had won all these awards and stuff, and it's one of the smoothest motors out there. It shares the same firing order as a small block Chevy, which also is the same as like a small block Chrysler. Big block Chevy, I think big block Chryslers use the same pattern. I mean, it's a popular firing order. But here's the funny thing, and I was talking to a friend about this the other day. It sounds awfully a lot like a modular Ford motor, like a Mustang. So, and most people say Fords get their sounds, the Mustangs get their sound from the firing order. Well, this has a Chevy firing order, and it sounds awfully a lot like a Ford. Like, if I put the right exhaust on it, cover your eyes, revved it up, you'd probably think I'm revving up a Mustang. That's how much it sounds like one. And if I can find it, I'll put it in right here. I have a video of the motor still in my Lexus before I pulled it all apart with a single chambered exhaust that I made for it, just to see what it sounded like, and that's why I thought it sounded amazing. I love the way it sounded. And by the way, I don't think Mustangs sound bad, especially when they have an actual exhaust on them. None of these straight pipe boys that sound like garbage. Just about everything sounds better with some sort of muffler. It's a fantastic motor. Yeah, they don't make a whole lot of power, but given the era, it's right on par. Everybody with a decent motor was right around that mid 200 range. So everybody in that time frame was making mid 200s with a 4-liter something V8. Nissan had the VH. I think that was like a 4.5 liter, and it made a little bit more power. Understandably, it was a bigger motor. The Cadillacs, they were 270 and 300, depending on if you had two mufflers or not. I think who else? The Lincolns were probably a little lower. I think they were like 205 or 215, you know, with the 4.6 modular. So I mean, it's right on par with everybody else. They're durable as hell motors, as everybody knows about the million-mile Lexus. And I was already on board with this motor well before that. I mean, I've been a fan of this motor for a long time, because I've always wanted an LS 400, and part of it was because of the motor. So there's that. It's reliable as gravity. It's lighter. They sound good. And the next thing, if I get the wild hair up my ass and decide to boost this thing to the moon, I can make some stupid power on a stock engine. I don't really want a whole lot of horsepower in this car. I want this car to be a good all-rounder. I want to be able to throw anybody the keys, go have fun, come back, don't dent it. You know, what you think. I don't want to have it to be this 400, 500, 600, 700 horsepower car that's barely controllable and it just blows the tires off. That's totally useless on the street. I want a car that I can take up to the mountains, have fun, and come back in one piece. I'm not looking for major horsepower. If I boost it, it's going to be mild. I think mid 300 horsepower at the wheels is about as most as I would want in that car for what I'm trying to do with it. If I did much more, I would want roll cage, safety, equipment, stuff like that. And at that point, to me, it's not really a street car anymore. I want to keep the bench seat as long as I can, but that's probably going to change. I want to even keep the stock column shifter. I want it to be externally just like a stock Malibu with nice wheels. It sits a little bit lower because of that suspension I have on it, but so I just want the car to be a good all-rounder. The only reason why I would boost it is because I'm known for boosting just about anything that comes in front of me. So it wouldn't be an all-out build because I don't need it to be an all-out build. I had briefly thought in the beginning I could do a pair of turbos on either side of the engine and do it kind of like an OEM turbo setup, like if they did it. And then I quickly realized I will not have any room for that in my car, especially with the rear control arm mounts the way they are. So if they weren't there, if the car was just straight down, like there's nothing sticking out of the frame, I probably could have nestled some turbos there and did something really fancy, because I would love to do something sneaky like that, something that looks almost OEM engineered. So basically I need to get the motor's out, sitting outside of it right now. I'll have to create a space to put it in my shop. I need to start cleaning up the frame. I got a lot of it done when I tore it all apart 2 years ago. I can't believe it's been 2 years. It's ridiculous that the car's been sitting that long. I'm talking about 2 years after I got the motor to physically fit in the car, and it's just been sitting. So I got to figure out how I'm going to box it all in, make it strong, make the brace. I want the car to be strong. I want the chassis to be strong. I just wanted everything to be right. I got to figure out how I'm going to do the motor mounts. I wanted to use the original aluminum ears that come off the block. That's going to be hard to do and make my cross member work. I think I'm better off just building my own set of mounts that bolt to the engine, and maybe do like kind of a low profile, like spring shackle polyurethane type bushing, real minimal bushing. Those motors don't really vibrate or shake that much, so I can go with a pretty low compliance mount and not get a whole lot of vibration. I don't mind feeling the motor a little bit, so it's not a big deal. I'd rather feel it, so I know if something's not right, I notice it right away. I don't want to be totally numb to the fact, and I don't need this thing flopping around either. So, get the chassis done. Who knows how long that's going to take me? 2 months, off and on. Get to build a transmission cross member, and that I'm going to kind of overbuild too. I want to kind of triangulate that, and hopefully just help reinforce some of the structural rigidity that I cut out. I'm hoping to restore that and add some with how I'm going to do everything. I have a plan in my head, just hopefully it comes together with relative ease. So now I'm going to fully register the car like regular use. I'm going to put cats on it. I'm going to put it through regular inspections. I got regular tags on it so I can drive it whenever I want. And here in Maryland, you're not supposed to drive a historic vehicle other than like to shows, parades, and the occasional use. You're not allowed to take it to work. How dare you drive your nice car to work? So I've never been hassled, but I'm not trying to find out either. So I'm just going to have the car fully regular tags, drive it anytime I want. It's not going to be loud. It's not going to have any stuff, attracting attention to itself. It's just going to be a nice, fun driver. Take it up to the mountains, have fun. Let's see if this phone stays in place. It did. Geez, that bump is worse than the railroad tracks. So I know I'm rambling again. I always ramble, especially when I don't have to hold the phone now. I can really ramble. I ramble to myself when no one's watching. My mind works that way. So the motor's going in stock. I'm going to fully service it, reseal it, new timing belt, all that jazz. But it's going in stock. Motor's going to go in stock, other than a half decent exhaust. I'm probably just going to reuse my 3-inch that I built for the Turbo 267. It's overkill for that motor, but it's already built. So really all I'm going to do is I'm going to put V-bands on the manifold to get rid of those big goofy 3-bolt flanges they have, because they're going to get in the way anyway. I'll go through a pair of standard cats. I'm not even going to do high flow because it doesn't matter for 260 horsepower. And probably just do 2-inch, and then I'll do that, and I'll do a nice Y into the single 3-inch. I'll probably do a little bit of a merge into like a brief 2.5 section and kind of cone it out to 3-inch. That way it kind of diffuses nicely and I don't have too much of a loss there. So that's my plan. The motor's going to go in stock. It's going to be fully serviced. It's got 200,000 miles on it, so it's finally broken in, I think. So service it up, clean it up, probably paint the valve covers. What is this? Alright, so what that was my phone overheating and shutting down the camera. Never experienced that before. So to conclude the video, I'm in front of my laptop right now editing this video to put it up tonight. I'm going to service the motor, new timing belt. I'll do some new seals and whatnot. I'm going to change the starter because they tend to kind of go bad around 200 to 250,000, and the motor's got 200,000 on it, so might as well do the starter. And some gaskets that should be replaced. Watching the cartoons, it's like Cartoon NZ, so it's kind of like a play on words. I'll put a link of his channel below. Watching his channel, he's all about 1UZ stuff, or as I like to say, Uzi stuff. Just a kind of another play on words. So there's some gaskets like water crossover gaskets and stuff I should replace, just due to the age. So I want to take care of all that. So basically, that motor will be serviceability wise, all the service work will be done, and I shouldn't have any problems with the motor. So I want to take care of all that, and then get it in the car. And he also offers a guide. You send him the what exact ECU you're using and what you're trying to do with the motor, and he'll you pay for a guide specific for what you're doing. And so since he does these all day every day, I mean that's basically his job. Well, he's probably the best go-to about any Uzi information, at least for swapping. And so I'll definitely do that when the time is ready for me to start getting into the harness. Hi, baby. You gonna get in the video? Come on. Come on. Come on. I got dipstick. We stinky pity. So, Dippy, look at the camera. That's you. She's a whack job, but I love her. 4 years old. So, hopefully the car comes together. I'm still gonna have to build a fuel system for it, but that's gonna be pretty easy. I'm gonna use a Grand National or maybe like a 4.3 TBI Monte Carlo fuel pump hanger, and I'll drop a pump in the tank. I thought about doing a surge tank, and I might do one eventually, but not right off the bat. I'm not worried about it. If I have fuel starvation issues, then I'll approach that problem then. Right now, again, I'm just trying to get the car on the road. So I would like to use my tires before they're too old and start to dry rot. I have nice Cooper tires on the car, and I mean they're still shiny from tire shine from the last time I washed it 2.5 years ago. So looks like all my dogs need to go out. So let me wrap up this video. So that's what's going on. Hopefully I'll have some new stuff for you in a couple weeks. Maybe I'll get some progress done on the Malibu. Just don't expect fast progress because I just can't jump on it 100% right now. But it's now at the shop, so whenever opportunity presents itself, I want to hop on it. So, see you guys later. Have a good one.